All right, on to the NBA playoffs. A little bit more knowledge for me. I know a little bit more about NBA, MLB, and NFL. Like I said, I'm just expanding my knowledge of the NHL the last like 3 or 4 years. But the NBA playoffs, we got Dallas and OKC playing last night, and I said from the beginning that I thought it was going to be OKC and Chicago, and so far, my gut's telling me that it's going to be that. I mean, OKC came up with a big series against a hot Memphis team. I mean, that Memphis team was young, and they were wily, and they were big, and I'm really impressed in the fact that they took the Spurs out in round one, and the fact they took OKC to Game 7. I never thought that was going to happen, so kudos to them. But OKC, I think, is just a really good team. They're young. I think the key to this series for them is their bench, though. I mean, James Harden comes off the bench last night, and he scores 23 points. That's huge for them. Their bench scores 50 points last night. Obviously, the controversy with Russell Westbrook in the fourth quarter being benched, saying he was trying to run the expletive play to his coach, and then played none of the fourth quarter. Eric Maynard came up and played phenomenal. I mean, Russell Westbrook had a great first half. He had 17 points, he had 8 assists, but he had 4 turnovers, and Eric Maynard played the whole fourth quarter without turning the ball over, and I mean, that's the name of the game. If you can keep the ball away from the other team, I mean, turnovers are huge, and especially in the NBA playoffs. I mean, if you have a lot of turnovers, that's why you lose games, and Maynard protected the ball for Thunder, and he controlled the game. That's what he did. He controlled the game, and it was just impressive. I think OKC's defense was great on Dirk, and that's kind of funny to say. You say, "Oh, their defense was great on Dirk," yet he still scored 29 points. I mean, he's averaging 28.5 points per game in the NBA playoffs, and he's 60% from the 3-point line, which is outstanding for a big 7-footer. I mean, I think Dirk is the most underrated player in the NBA, honestly. He can shoot the three. He's dynamite from mid-range. That 20-foot jumper just knocks it down all the time. He can play a good post game with a 7-footer. He can rebound with the best of them. I think he's one of the best overall players we've seen, overall big men we've seen. Well, I've seen in my lifetime. I think we've seen in the last half a century. And I don't think he gets recognized enough for it. He could possibly be the best European player we've ever seen in this league. And then you got Jason Kidd. I mean, 37 years old, and he's still kicking like a 20-year-old kid. I mean, he's not as quick as he once was, but he still dictates the game. He's a playmaker. He gets other guys open, and he always seems to find the open looks. And he's sticking with those Westbrook. I mean, a lot of people thought that Westbrook was going to be too quick for him, and he's staying right with him. And then you got Jason Terry off the bench. I mean, the Jet. He's their spark plug. He's their go-to guy in crunch time. But overall, I did say I'd take OKC, and I'm sticking to it. I think the youth and the fact that they got the best scorer in the league in Durant is going to put them over the hump. I think Ibaka, Carlson, and Perkins can contain Dirk the best they can to take OKC. I'm taking OKC. OKC is going to the finals for me in 7 here. Dallas is a hot team, but I got faith in the young Thunder. Then on the other side, you got Chicago playing Miami, and first game was horrendous for Miami. The defense was just broke down. D Rose did whatever he wanted at will, and Luol Deng came up with an absolute monster game for Chicago. I don't think they ever expected him to do that, and good for him for coming out playing better than LeBron James did that game. That's literally what he did. He played better than LeBron, and Chicago needs that if they want to win the series. If they want to continue to win, if they want to win Game 3, I should say, because Miami wins Game 2. But if Chicago wants to win Game 3, they need D Rose to slow down a little bit. I mean, obviously he's an up-tempo player. He likes to run the fast break, get in the lane, and draw fouls and stuff. And that's good. That's what you want from your playmaker. But also sometimes I think he forces it a little bit too much. And that's why you got the other night. I think he was 8 of 17 from the floor or something like that. When he's shooting 20-plus shots, I feel like that's no good. You want him to be able to create plays for guys like Boozer and Deng, allow them to score, draw double teams so that there's an open man, and then later on in games you want him to take over the games. I'm not saying he shouldn't take over the game, because he should, because he's the MVP for a reason, but I think sometimes he needs to slow it down and not try to force too much, not try to be the only source of scoring for the Bulls. And on the other side, Miami got a huge performance from Udonis Haslem. Huge. I mean, he's not the sexiest player in the league by any means. He's very basic and average and kind of boring to watch, but he's just got all the key elements. He rebounds for a big guy. He shoots a great mid-range jumper. He scores down low, and he's just so energetic. He's that spark plug for the Miami. He's what they need. He really gave them he shifted them into the next gear, and that's why they won Game 2. Haslam I do honestly believe, was the main reason The only question is he healthy? I mean, he's going to be hurting after that game. Can he stay healthy and be that spark plug throughout the series? And then Chicago and Miami both need their big guys to step it up. Boozer and Bosch have been quiet throughout the playoffs. I mean, Bosch game 1 was huge with 30 points, but that's no good if you're losing the game by 20, you know. That was his only really big game, and then Boozer, I mean, his defense all season has been terrible, but it's been outshined by his offensive. He's giving you 18 points and 12 boards, but he's not even doing that right now. He scored 7 points the other night. You gave him $15 million a year for a reason in the offseason, and you expect more out of him. I expect more out of him, so they need him to step up. Overall, I did say that I would take the Bulls. If Miami continues to play defense, though, like they did the other game, then I think they got a great shot to win. But if their defense breaks down like in game 1, it's definitely the Bulls to take. I'm taking the Bulls personally. I think D Rose knows what to do. He's very hard on himself. He knows how to fix his game, his mistakes from last game, and he's gonna come out firing on all cylinders. And Luol Deng is hot right now, and if he can play, he doesn't have to play better than LeBron James, because LeBron James is hands down one of the best player in the league, and you can't expect Deng to play better than him. But he came out with a lot more energy in game 1, a lot more hustle, and if he can out hustle LeBron and stay with him statistically, then I think the Bulls have the best chance in the league, better chance than anyone, I should say, of winning it all. And I honestly do think the Bulls are going to win it all. So I take the Bulls in this series in 6. Sorry, Miami fans, but I think you guys are about a year away. You just don't have all the pieces yet. I think you need a better bench play, better big men, especially off the bench, to take you to the final. So whatever you guys do in the offseason, I think that Miami's about a year away. I think next year they'll probably be the team to beat to win the NBA Finals. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to talk about the MLB real quick. And we're going to talk a little about Jason Giambi's rebirth. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.